What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. This is a sad, sad day in the NBA. I would say this is the saddest day since Kobe Bryant died. For the third time in 2 weeks, we've lost an NBA legend. First Bill Walton, just a couple of days ago, Chet Walker, and now we've lost the great Jerry West. Jerry West passed away peacefully this morning at the age of 86. His wife was by his side. Jerry West was the silhouette of the NBA's logo. That's how great he was. He was considered the best all-around player in the NBA for much of his NBA career, which lasted from 1960 to 1974. He played the guard position, considered a combo guard. Most of his career, he was listed as the point guard, but he's considered a shooting guard. 12 times he was voted into the All-NBA first and second team, was elected to the NBA All-Star team 14 times, was chosen as the All-Star Game MVP in 1972. If memory serves me correctly, the game winner in that game. It was that same year that he won the only NBA title of his career, though he went to the finals 9 different times. Jerry West holds the third highest career points per game, fourth highest, points per game scoring average in NBA history behind Michael Jordan, Luka Doncic, and Allen Iverson at 29.2. And he had one of the highest scoring averages ever for a perimeter player at 27 points per game in his career. He holds the NBA record for highest points per game average in a playoff series at 46.3 points per game, which he accomplished back in the 1965 playoffs against the then Baltimore Bullets. Mind you, he did that with no three-point shot. He was also a member of the first 5 NBA all-defensive teams. Keep in mind that the NBA did not introduce this distinction, this selection, until he was 32 years old. If not for that, he would have been on far many more teams. He's the only player in NBA history to be named Finals MVP while on a losing team back in 1969. Jerry West was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame back in 1980, and he was named to the NBA's 35th anniversary team, and subsequently has been named to the 50th, and just a couple of years ago, the 75th anniversary team. Jerry West was born in West Virginia back in 1938 in Cheyenne, West Virginia. Jerry West grew up as a victim of domestic violence. His father beat him, so much so that when he was a young kid, he slept with a loaded shotgun under his bed in fears that he may have to one day take his father's life in self-defense. When he was a young kid, he was outgoing, gregarious. This all changed, however, when his older brother David lost his life in action in the Korean War. And that trauma turned Jerry West into a sullen, shy, and introverted individual. He was very small and frail and weak, to the point where his health suffered. He needed many vitamin shots to keep him healthy. As a kid, he grew up loving to fish and hunt, but his main pastime was playing basketball. He spent days and hours shooting baskets from different angles, learning how to hone his dribbling skills and honing his overall basketball skills, whether through his sun, through snow, through storm, through rain, through sleet. He played, lived, and breathed basketball. Early on, Jerry West's lack of height hindered his basketball journey. Ultimately, however, by the time he was 15 years old, he grew to 6 feet tall, and ultimately over 6 feet 3, though for some reason he was always only listed as 6'2". Jerry West graduated from East Bank High School in 1956 and eventually chose to attend nearby West Virginia University located in Morgantown. During his junior year, Jerry West scored 26.6 points per game and averaged 12.3 rebounds. In his final collegiate season, Jerry West averaged 29.3 points, 16.5 rebounds, while shooting over 50% from the floor, which was a rarity at that time, and almost 77% from the free throw line. In 1960, in the Olympics in Rome, he teamed with Oscar Robertson. He teamed with Walt Bellamy. He teamed with Jerry Lucas and others to form one of the greatest teams in the history of basketball. A team that ultimately was inducted into the Hall of Fame decades later. It was in 1960 that Jerry West was selected by the Los Angeles Lakers. Initially, he played second fiddle to Elgin Baylor, but by the mid-1960s, with injuries beginning to slow Baylor down, Jerry West began to assert himself as the dominant scorer of that Baylor-West tandem. They did not win an NBA championship together as teammates, though they did go to 8 NBA finals together. The big problem with those teams was that, they lacked a great center. And oftentimes that led to Bill Russell, who was not noted as a great scorer, having great offensive and defensive games against him. It was just too much. The closest they came to an NBA final together was in 1962 when that series went 7 games. Jerry West, despite his Hall of Fame career, over 25,000 points, despite the accolades, despite being considered the greatest guard of his era, and until Michael Jordan, the greatest guard the game has ever seen, he was not happy. He was not happy because he played the game for just one reason and one reason only, and that was to win. It wasn't until the acquisition of Wilt Chamberlain back in 1968 that the Lakers began to consistently have teams good enough to win the championship, but it wasn't until 1972 that they finally won it all. Afterwards, in 1974, Jerry West retired from basketball and briefly became the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, but it was as an executive. It was as an NBA executive that he had his greatest success. First with the Showtime Lakers, and later with the Kobe Shaq Lakers, and then the Golden State Warriors. Matter of fact, twice he was NBA Executive of the Year, 1995 with the Lakers, and in 2004 with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was an 8-time champion as an executive, winning championships in 1980, 82, 85, and 87, 88, and 2000 with the Lakers, and 2015 and 17 with the Golden State Warriors. To me, in my opinion, his efforts as a player, a coach, and an executive makes him the greatest Laker the game has ever seen. To me, after Michael Jordan and after Kobe Bryant, he is the 3rd greatest shooting guard the game has ever seen. He's in the NBA Hall of Fame. I should say the Basketball Hall of Fame as a player. And in 2006, he was inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame. one of the greatest players the game has ever seen, one of the greatest competitors who overcame mental illness to be one of the great players, and one of the great competitors and an ambassador to the game. Jerry West, dead at the age of 86. May he rest in peace.